So when we're looking to repurpose things around the garden, what can we use these things for? Well, in germinating seed and growing veggies, these guys are the bomb. So I'm going to start off with one of these little babies. And obviously, we're going to be taking the label off it because we're going to use these almost as a mini greenhouse. So we need a craft knife. And the first thing that I'm going to do is literally just a third. So divide it into 1, 2, 3. There we go. You don't have to be really specific about this. And we're just going to cut it all the way around. And it doesn't have to be neat. All right, so we've got the little base. Next thing we're going to need, remember, anything that you're planting in is you are going to need to drill a few holes in it. So we've got a drill bit with the point, and we're just going to drill 1 or 2 holes in the base. Now, next step, we're going to be sowing seeds. And what I would strongly recommend is that you choose seeds that either you're going to transplant or that are going to live in here permanently. But always remember the eventual height of it. So if you're wanting something to grow in here permanently, then options would be coriander. You could use some mixed herbs because they're always great. And pet grass, yummy. Feed the little guys because then you'll get this pet grass. You can put it down and they can just come and mow it all up. So always just remember, picture the height of what it's going to end up looking like, and is there going to be enough space for it in here? So what we've got first is our mixture. We need to get this ready. So we've got a block here of coconut husk. Remember, you pop that into a bucket, fill it up with some water, leave it, and it ends up breaking down into this beautiful pH neutral, friable, light product, which is just the perfect home for little seeds. Now, I'm going to be leaving my plants in here, and even if you're not going to, guys, I strongly suggest that you add just a small handful of organic pellets. And what that is going to do is simply just, as these seeds start growing and they've germinated and they start looking for food, that they're going to have enough of this organic plant food in here to be able to get going. Now all we do is take our little container, pop in coconut husk with our mixture alone. That's it, plain and simple. And notice I'm not squashing it. I'm not pushing it in here, right? And we pop that little baby over there. Oh, no. Right, now we're going to take our seeds. And this is one time where you really don't mind if all the seeds come up in a really concentrated area. We want to mash so that we've got a really delicious plate of pet grass for our little pooches to be able to munch on. So all that we're going to do is take the seed and we're literally going to sprinkle it around here. And now all I do is I take some vermiculite. And vermiculite is a volcanic product. It's lovely because it forms a little blanket. It also is able to create heat. And heat, of course, creates germination and stimulates germination. And it also holds moisture. So all I'm going to do is pop a little layer of vermiculite on top. And there we have it. The next step is our watering. Remember, start pouring there and then move across it and across it and across. Right, watering. That's going to be the last time you're going to water these guys. You might be saying, Tanya, are you mad? Well, of course not, because here comes the next little bit. The part that we cut off, this is going to go on top of here and make a little greenhouse. But to make it easier for you, all I do is I take my top and I just make a little cut there, a little cut there, and a cut there. And then we're simply just going to put our little cloche on top. There we go. And there we have it. Our little seeds that are now going to create their own little ecosystem. What's happening in here is we've got the oxygen, we've got the vermiculite to give you heat, we've got moisture, we've got everything that seeds need to germinate. Now all you do is you leave that in a well-lit spot, not in the hot, bright sunlight, and you leave that there and it's going to germinate. You don't need to worry about watering it. As soon as those little guys are up and they start getting the leaf format, you can then take the lid off to allow more air to get in there. And then when they start getting a bit stronger, you then take your cloche off. Pretty cool, pretty simple, from something as useless as a 2-liter plastic bottle. Right, guys, let's show you the other thing that you can do with one of these 2-liter bottles. So once again, the label is off and we're going to hold it like that. We've got a craft knife, nice and sharp, be careful. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut along there, nice cut there, come along. Okay, and then back over here, almost just to make a little opening. And then around, Right, this little piece, don't throw it away because you might need it. Okay, so there we go. You can already see what it's going to be doing. All we need to do now, of course, is drill a few holes in it at the bottom for our drainage. Next up, what we're going to do is we've got our mixture already, which is our coconut husk, and we're going to take some and we're just going to pop it inside here. And what I dig about this is that while they grow, you can, when they start getting more mature, our seeds that we've germinated, you can actually see the roots. And put it in, give it a little shake about. There we go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our seeds, and I want to use coriander because, guys, coriander is a herb that you just need to make sure that you've always got the new crop coming on. So literally, I would be sowing these in 2-week to 3-week intervals, little bits at a time, so that you've got one that's germinating, one that's ready to pick, and so the cycle can just continue. Because the fact that people still buy coriander from the shops makes my heart bleed, literally. Okay, so here we're going to take it and we're just going to sprinkle our coriander seeds, nice and thick. And in this case, I would only plant seeds in here for things that will live in here and grow. Right, next step, you know the drill, is to take some vermiculite and we're going to cover it with the vermiculite. Okay, I am not going to water it right now because I want to show you what we're going to do with it next. So either you can choose to leave it on a table just like that. If you're worried about it moving around and that, you take this little piece, remember that I told you about earlier, the little piece that you cut out, and we're just going to cut it in half. There we go. And we take one piece and we put it there, and one piece and we put it there, just like a little wedge. However, what I want to show you to do is that we're going to create different levels of this. So if you've got a whole lot of bottles, perfect. And I've got a piece of trellis here, and we're going to show you how to hang it. This is the part where you're going to need the drill again. So in here, we're going to drill a little hole. 1, perfect. 2. Lovely, and one more over here. Now, what do we use next? I like using this. It's also a bit of plastic coated, nice and easy, bends nicely, and all we're going to do is the following. We're going to feed it in here. We're going to feed it through the other side. There we go. Come up and turn it round. We've got a little loop, just like that, okay. And then depending on how much we need to hang, so I will go with that, cut it off, and then come back down again, feed it through, and up the other side. There we go. Okay, we are ready to rock and roll. And now you've got a little hanging garden made out of your plastic container. And all we need to do now is take our little hanging garden. We can find our piece of trellis and use a cable tie, trusty cable tie, and pop it on there. There we go. And then the final part, because we put it all on, we're good to go, is that we give it a good watering. And that's it, guys. Remember, because it doesn't have the cloche on it, you are going to have to water almost every day. I would strongly suggest that until the little guys start germinating. And then in a couple of weeks' time, you're going to have beautiful coriander that has been growing and is good to go. I really like it, from taking something that might not have had a use in our homes and converting it to something really useful, especially for the garden.